Once, a well-known billionaire was invited for a telephone interview with a radio presenter. The host asked him a very deep and personal question. "Sir, can you remember the happiest moment of your life?" The billionaire, after a brief pause, replied thoughtfully, "I've experienced many phases in my life, but only recently did I truly grasp the meaning of real happiness." Curious, the presenter encouraged him to continue, and the billionaire began to recount his journey through life. The first stage, accumulating wealth. The billionaire began his story by explaining how, in his early days, his focus was on accumulating as much wealth as possible. His goal was to become rich, thinking that the more money he had, the happier he would be. So, he worked tirelessly, built businesses, invested in properties, and grew his fortune. "I believed that having money meant having happiness," he said. "I became wealthy beyond imagination. But, oddly, when I reached that point, the happiness I expected never came. I could buy anything I wanted, but my heart still felt empty." Wealth, it turned out, wasn't the answer. The second stage, collecting valuables. Realizing that wealth alone wasn't fulfilling, the billionaire moved on to a new phase in life, one of collecting rare, valuable, and luxurious items. He surrounded himself with the finest things, expensive cars, art, jewelry, and grand mansions. His life was filled with glittering objects that most people could only dream of owning. "But even this did not bring me joy," he shared. "The thrill of buying these things would fade. The excitement was short-lived, and soon I would be searching for the next shiny object. It seemed like I was chasing happiness in material things that lost their value over time." The third stage, business success. The billionaire's next pursuit was power and influence through the success of his businesses. He took on big projects and expanded his empire. At one point, he controlled 95% of the diesel supply in India and Africa. He also owned the largest steel factory in India and Asia. His business empire had made him a global player in the industry, respected and admired by many. "I thought achieving these great business milestones would make me happy," he explained. "But even at the height of my success, I didn't feel the joy I had imagined. The satisfaction was fleeting, and once the excitement of the achievement passed, I was left wanting more, unsure of what I was truly looking for." The fourth stage, a change of perspective. Then, something unexpected happened. A close friend approached the billionaire with a request. The friend asked if he could donate wheelchairs to a group of disabled children. It was a simple, heartfelt request, and the billionaire agreed without hesitation. He bought wheelchairs for about 200 children, but then his friend made another suggestion. "Why don't you come with me and personally deliver these wheelchairs to the children?" he asked. At first, the billionaire wasn't sure if it was necessary for him to go, but his friend persisted, and so he agreed. Together, they visited the place where the children were waiting for their wheelchairs. The moment of true happiness. When the billionaire arrived, he was struck by what he saw. The children's faces lit up as they received their new wheelchairs. For many of them, it was their first time experiencing the freedom of movement. They smiled, laughed, and wheeled themselves around, exploring their surroundings with pure joy. "It felt like I was at a festival or a picnic," the billionaire said, his voice filled with emotion. The happiness on their faces was so genuine, so innocent. "For the first time, I felt something inside me shift. I felt a kind of happiness I had never known before, happiness that came from seeing others joyful." As the visit came to an end, one of the children, a young boy, grabbed onto the billionaire's leg as he was about to leave. Surprised, the billionaire gently bent down and asked the boy, "Is there something else you need?" The boy looked up at him with bright eyes and said something that would change the billionaire's life forever. "I want to remember your face," the boy said, "so that when I meet you in heaven, I can recognize you and thank you once again." The billionaire was stunned. He stood there, speechless, as the words of the child sank in. It was in that moment that he realized what true happiness really was. It wasn't in money, material things, or business success. It was in giving, in helping others, in bringing joy to those in need. The reflection on life. After sharing this story, the billionaire ended with a powerful message. We spend so much of our lives chasing after wealth, power, and possessions, thinking they will make us happy. But true happiness is found when we bring light into someone else's life. That little boy's words changed my outlook on life forever. I now understand that what we give to others is what we will be remembered for, not what we keep for ourselves. Note: this story has been widely circulated on the internet, often attributed to Ratan Tata, the renowned Indian businessman and philanthropist. However, there is no verified source confirming this tale's association with him, and it seems to be a blend of inspirational content that could be linked to other figures as well. Due to the lack of authenticity and verifiable references, I have opted not to attribute it directly to Ratan Tata. Nevertheless, it's important to acknowledge that people like Ratan Tata have made countless contributions to humanity, especially through their philanthropic efforts in education, healthcare, and rural development, impacting millions of lives in India and beyond.